All right, ready?
Kayfabe Gimmicks! You know where to find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube. Fiction Entertainment, brother. YouTube.
Fucking #1 Kayfabe Gimmicks podcast ever. So.
How are you looking for?
Put words in the wrong place.
Are you recording all this, dude? The best wrestling podcast that's always been.
What you gonna do, brother, when the beast starts talking about wrestling and drinking whiskey and it's all crazy up in here?
Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm done.
All right, this is Kayfabe Gimmicks. It's Snoova. It's Ruff Lee joining us tonight. Matt.
Yo, what up? It's the Unclean Spitter in the building, the wrestling podcast god.
Damn, I was unaware that he was a god. All right,
I
then.
thought you had a really long intro, and here you are going on about Matt being a god.
Well, he might be a god. Nah, man. I am not even going to give you a long intro. I'm just going to say, this is Behney. Plain and simple.
All right. So, Raw started this night with Brock Lesnar, and I think it was the best promo we've ever seen out of the man.
It automatically is the best promo he's ever cut because his voice didn't crack like a 12-year-old.
That's pretty much where I wanted to go.
I got to admit that on all points. It was not the most threatening voice in the world, but it was also not like a 12-year-old girl.
It wasn't like he lost it into high-pitched, I'm a soprano voice.
And he has that problem. He's had it for fucking years.
Well, he come out like a boss, like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you up.
It was the first time I think I can honestly say I've been happy to see Brock Lesnar as my champion.
Other than the Dean Ambrose-Seth Rollins feud that main evented, yes.
Yeah, like, seriously, it was like, damn, Brock Lesnar is actually wrestling, and he's, well, not even wrestling, but, like, his promo ability and the fact that he was out there, it was interesting. Brock Lesnar is a face versus the Authority.
Well, he's tweenering it. Because, obviously...
It's honestly better than it...
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ruff.
I'll go on record and I'll say that this is the first time that he has seen this strong since he had his angle feuds.
Definitely.
That was the last time that I honestly looked at Brock Lesnar as being a total gonna whip your ass and I don't care if you're bigger than me kind of dude.
Well, it was never, I don't care if you were bigger than me. It was just, I'm badder than you, because no one's really ever been bigger than Brock.
We got into that near the end of the night, so we'll save that for the end, but I definitely see that. Cena came out. That shirt was the most terrible thing I've seen in a long-ass time.
Yo, his face looked like Barack Obama on that shirt.
You saw that too?
Yeah.
That wasn't just me. Anyways, so they try to push the WWE app down their throat. Does anybody actually have this thing?
No.
I don't, but the occasional stream that I watch it on will take the effort to cut back and forth. And I'm pretty sure it cut back and forth about 20 times last night in the first 2 hours.
Do you, Ruff?
I had the app. I had to delete it.
Did you ever use it?
I used it a couple times on a vote for a match just to mark out.
I had it at one point, but it doesn't have any cool features on it.
I thought you could watch, like, the commercial break fighting.
You can, but
That's
a lot
it.
of the times it's not really that important.
I mean, you got to take a piss at some point.
They're not going to do anything major during a commercial break. The momentum swing might change, but that's about it.
So it's really just punches and kicks.
And rest holds, yes.
Alrighty. So, I want to go ahead and pause for a second.
Armbar.
Armbar.
Outside of Raw, we do have news this week of Alberto Del Rio signing with Lucha Underground.
Best career move he could have made.
I definitely agree. Thoughts on Lucha Underground, starting with Ruff?
You know, I like Lucha Underground just because it's the street level that we have missed ever since ECW went away. And I think that when he decided to blow up and say, I'm a wrestler, damn it, it was great for all the marks. I thought it was awesome because it gave everyone a chance to mark out and say, yeah, I want to see people throw down in a ring. I don't want to see all of these gimmicks when we're going to have, especially when we're talking about big muscle, because I'm the guy that's always preaching about the cruiserweight division ever since it went away. I'm the one that's always fighting for the divas when they actually get a chance to show if they have any damn talent, because what I don't like about big muscle and the way that WWE in general always wants to run big muscle is, here's a big move, now we're going to rest. Here's another big move, oh wait, I'm going to stand here and taunt for 2 minutes. I can't stand that. I want a match to move. And so having Alberto Del Rio giving a big promo where he's saying, I'm a wrestler, not a sports entertainer, just is something to get people hyped the right way, about the way we should be excited about matches.
I can see that. Matt, have you watched any Lucha Underground?
The only thing I've seen is like clips here and there on YouTube, but I don't even know who people are, or what the fuck I'm watching. I'm just watch some shit.
The only WWE names they have besides
Chavo.
They have Chavo. They have Ezekiel Jackson. And they have John Morrison. Go ahead.
In case you haven't found out about Chavo Guerrero in Lucha Underground, his nickname is Chavo Chair Shots Guerrero. He's literally just bashing people with chairs 24/7, and it is the greatest thing ever. Every time I've watched one of his matches from Lucha Underground, he hits somebody with a chair.
I mean, that's a million times better than being Vicky's lapdog.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst decisions ever, I think.
I liked him when he had the little stick horse. What was the stick horse's name? WCW, you remember that?
I know what you're talking about.
Ruff, do you remember?
God, I don't remember.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. He actually came out.
Pepe, I think it was Pepe. Pepe was the stick horse. He came out riding it and shit.
That was god awful.
But so funny.
All right.
So funny.
You want a reason to watch Lucha? The fact that Morrison gets to run like Morrison. What we love, if you say John Morrison, and you immediately have a highlight reel going in your head, his matches look the way that you expect them to.
He's
I love Lucha.
It.
I
love Lucha because he gets to give matches the way that we always want to see him do matches. He performs at the level that we like to see a John Morrison perform.
Since we're talking about this kind of stuff, it didn't really, I mean, they claim that it went well because they got 12,000 viewers, but Raw Alternative happened last night, and it was basically just a bunch of indie matches that they streamed during Raw. It really wasn't that great. They tried to hype it up like it was going to be the shit, and there was maybe one or two matches that were decent matches, and I didn't really know anybody that was going at it. And
I didn't even hear this happened. If we want to talk about John Morrison for a moment, I honestly, when Eminem existed, I didn't give a shit about the man, really. But as soon as that singles career started, especially once the John Morrison change happened on ECW, I fell in love with the man. The man is just one of the best wrestlers I've watched. And
Man Crush.
Whatever.
Bromance
all the way. You talk about a man who should have been world heavyweight champion by now. That dude should have done it for WWE.
He absolutely should have held that gold.
Yeah, he kind of got the raw end of the deal on that.
There was a lot of rumors there because of Trish Stratus. Fuck that hoe.
Hey, whoa. You don't talk about my girl like that.
He didn't want to work with her during the freaking Snooki match. He wanted to do shit his way, and that's supposedly why he got it.
Would you want to work with Snooki?
Hell no, especially at WrestleMania.
At Mania, yeah, like that's what they're giving you for Mania.
It's horrible. She did a cartwheel.
I was actually impressed by her cartwheel.
People popped.
It was more than I was expecting out of her. Let's be real.
It's better than a 45-second title drop at Mania.
Daniel Bryan lost in 15. Who
I was
lost
about
in
to say
45?
17 seconds.
That was
True, 17 seconds.
Oh, such terrible things. All right, let's get back to the show. So we had a Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan match that had a shitload of commercials during it.
Yeah, that was where I saw the most of the WWE app thing switching on and off. I don't know what the deal was with that. I don't know if it's them being weird about everything or Brian not being ready to go or what it was, but it was the worst thing in the world because any feel of the match that you started to get immediately cut to a commercial.
Ruff, Matt, thoughts on this?
I think they did it because they were trying to promote the app, and they figured that people would want to watch it for D-Bra.
Hang on, if you're going to go that, if you guys are going to go that way, both of you, go ahead, Ruff. Sorry.
No, I'm with that because anytime that you're going to get your high ratings, and who's the draw other than Cena?
But at the same time, they're already trying to use Daniel Bryan to push SmackDown. I don't need to be pushed to watch on the app to see Daniel Bryan if you're already going to make me tune into goddamn SmackDown.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into
never
that
progresses any storylines.
We're really going to get into that tonight. Talking about what actually happened during their match, Bray Wyatt had an awesome clothesline, and Daniel Bryan sold it beautifully.
He sold that thing so well, I actually thought he might have been hurt.
Ruff, Matt, let's talk about this. Daniel Bryan in the ring. Do we think he's ready again?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's the issue about it. I think he can go any second. I don't think he's stupid enough to get in the ring and fuck himself up, knowing that he can do what he can do. He was talking about in an interview that the officials, the WWE officials, would be like, yo, maybe you shouldn't do the diving headbutt or the whatever. And he was like, I know what my body can do, and I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to see what my body can do. He's still kind of testing himself out. He was like, if I do a drop kick from the top rope and it jars me, maybe I won't do that anymore. But he said basically he ain't listening to them. He's going to regulate himself. That's probably what we're going to see, in the few matches that he's going to have. He's going to kind of be out there testing the waters.
So definitely a lot of trial and error on his part, and we're going to see a change in his style. Ruff, what are you thinking about Daniel Bryan right now?
I think, you got to look at the entire package. We know that D. Bryan knows how to get the crowd on his side. So the real issue is whether or not he can perform the way that we're used to. And I say that that's kind of irrelevant because we've never seen John Cena go higher than second rope, and he's had this whole huge career. So... and most of it, honestly, he's had all the marks on his side. So if you've got Daniel Bryan, who knows how to sell it to the crowd, who has a great sense of ring psychology, he can be the guy that can carry the torch no matter where his physical condition is. I believe that he'll absolutely get back to what we're used to out of him. But if he wasn't really ready, there's no way he'd dive through the ropes.
See, I'm really happy you brought that up because whenever I saw the diving headbutt, I honestly thought to myself that, okay, this means that he can go because he would not do that move unless he knew that he was going to be able to keep going. Because no matter what, that move is going to fuck you up for the simple fact that you're basically doing a flop onto the mat from the top rope.
And pushing your fucking head back.
Pretty much, yeah.
I absolutely see where you guys are coming from. Let's talk about Bray for a second. I love Sister Abigail.
That's about all I love with him at this point.
You just like the finisher? I mean, I think the man still has an opportunity if you get him on the mic, but we're not even trying.
I think at this point he's a cult leader without a cult. He's good on the mic, don't get me wrong, but his promos are lacking now. He doesn't have a real feud going anymore. I don't know where he's going from here because apparently the Ambrose thing is done. There's no top of the card guy unless they're going to throw Orton at him that they can use. So I don't see where he's going to be going creatively towards WrestleMania.
Let's do a little bit of dream booking. Ruff, what would you do with him right now?
I wouldn't put him against Orton. I'll have to think on that for a second, but I wouldn't put him against Orton because there's no heat in a heel versus heel. And we love Bray Wyatt, but he's supposed to be a heel.
Well, Orton's supposedly coming back face, from what they've said.
Why? Why would we do that? We don't like Orton as a face. We never have.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Nobody.
The only time that we've liked him as a face is when he turned on Triple H.
This is true, yes, but...
I mean, seriously, and honestly, Orton has become one of the most tired and stale characters ever. Worse than John Cena for me.
Oh, yeah, he's worse than Hulk Hogan's stillness. I mean, what? Did I just say that out loud?
No. I mean, I think it should be said. Other than, like, when he was doing the fucking punt, what has Orton done for us in years?
Won titles. That's about it.
Matt, thoughts on him? What has Orton done for us?
Okay, on Orton, I've never really liked him. He's always just been whatever to me, really. I don't really care. To be honest, I don't even, like when he was the heel, whatever. When he was doing the punt, I kind of started to hate him. You know, he hooked me into that, but at the same time, I don't care. That was about the best thing he did. I didn't even really give a shit about the whole Legend Killer angle.
I'm going to put it to you guys like this. This has been my problem with Orton ever since 2006 when I really started watching wrestling. Like, hardcore as fuck. I would be there every day because of my fucking girlfriend. I watched Orton in a tag team match. And he was fighting Snitsky with a beard and Eugene. I don't even remember who the hell his tag team partner was, right? But he
Probably
goes for the
Flair
RKO against Snitsky. And Snitsky literally raises his hands up, puts them on Orton's shoulders, and pushes him down to the ground. No RKO happened. When that's your finisher, and it's that easy to fucking counter that shit... Like, oh, yeah, he pushed me, man. He just pushed me out of the way. I could have hurt him.
Yeah, but Snitsky's a big dude, though.
Snitsky's not the only one who's pushed Orton out of the way when he tried to RKO them.
Well, I mean, let's face it. The RKO is not the diamond cutter. The diamond cutter locks in there. You headlock that fucker and then bring him down.
Diamond cutter always wins over an RKO, hands down.
Yeah, that's true, but it's still been more of a sneaky move than it has a... It comes, as JR would say, it comes out of nowhere.
RKO, I don't know. But see, that's what I liked about the punt. You knew what the punt was entirely. But the thing about the punt was when you saw it, you also could believe it did more damage than the RKO.
You know, I got to stop you there because selling an RKO is something that's serious business, and that's part of why it's been his finisher for so long and why he still is running with it. Because we all know that Hogan can't take anything. And when we ran that angle forever ago, when Orton wanted to flirt with Hogan's daughter.
That was 07, by the way. SummerSlam.
Wow, that long ago. But even back then, we knew that Hogan couldn't take a bump. And when Orton can sell an RKO that you only hear 2 footsteps to run up, and he RKOs on the trunk of the limo and sells it, that means that he honestly can sell that move as much as he ever needs to. So it's still a solid finisher.
Yeah.
I hear you. I think the RKO's biggest problem is where, unlike the stunner, you couldn't really block the stunner because it kicked you in the goddamn guts. You were kind of you couldn't breathe, and he got you and he knocked your ass the fuck out. Whereas the RKO, it's really, if you see it coming, you can stop that shit.
Well, that's the problem with the way they use it now, the way they have been using him for a long time is the whole drop to the mat and he's coiling, quote unquote.
Oh, the snake thing? The snake thing is weird.
And then he pops up off the ground and drops it on you. I mean, whenever they use it as he catches somebody off guard, it is honestly one of the best selling finishers ever. The top rope RKOs and shit like that are some of the greatest ones you will ever see. But some of them where he's just grabbing somebody who's just standing straight up, I'll admit it, they're lackluster.
All right, let's move on. Daniel Bryan, real quick. Is he going to be the face of SmackDown? Go ahead, Ruff.
Back to Bray Wyatt. The one thing that would dream book that you can't put on PG television. I'm going to go even further than where you went on the last podcast, and I'm going to say that Bray Wyatt should get Bo Dallas on his team after he beats Bo Dallas in a chloroform match. That's how I would dream book it.
A chloroform match. I love it.
Hit him with a chloroform match, take him backstage, and the next time you see him, he's converted. That's a win.
Honestly, anybody right now, you just start having Bray Wyatt start take people out like that, drag them to the back, I would be down.
Yeah, that'd be you.
So starting with Ruff, Daniel Bryan wants to be the face of SmackDown, he said in interviews. We've moved Jerry Lawler to SmackDown. Is this going to finally fix SmackDown and maybe bring back brand separation?
No brand separation. But if they take SmackDown and do it live, if they have that shit live and not... That's what takes me away from SmackDown is it's so edited with the fans and everything. It makes me not want to watch it. Like I can't watch it because it's the fakeness. You can see, wrestling. You can't make it look fake. You know what I'm saying?
The best example of that is not this past week, but the week before SmackDown. Whenever who came, I think it might have been. I honestly don't remember, but they were talking about Ryback, Rowan, and Ziggler. And they started and said Rowan, and in the audio there was this huge pop for his name. And in the background you can see nobody moved.
Yeah.
And they did Ryback and a few people clapped, and then Ziggler, but they all sounded identical.
That's why you can't get a sellout of SmackDown, because when you're going to edit the crowd noise to your liking, it's a no sale for me.
Exactly.
I think it's a no sale for anybody watching it.
You've got to be pre-puberty to actually buy into it at that point.
Yep.
All right, so we got a couple more promos that happened. We're about 85 minutes of Raw, but with only one match in. It was a really slow Raw for actually getting to see fights.
It was a Raw reunion. It was more of a Legends night or whatever than it was a regular Raw or a fucking, we're about to have the Rumble Raw, really.
That's okay. That's okay.
Sando got to steal X-Pac pop.
I love that.
Yeah.
I will say one thing about that. When Kevin Nash raised up the Wolfpack sign and then just, through my hair. That little moment of like, oh, fuck you was fucking perfect for me.
It's okay if we want to make it a reunion night because we've already started announcing who's in the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah.
So it's time to make everyone nostalgic again. It's okay to do that, especially since it's got to be a go-home show.
I think we definitely had some good nostalgia. Let's jump to Wade Barrett versus Ambrose. Could be great as fuck feud. It only lasted for 8 minutes in a fight on Raw. Ruff, go ahead and start it.
Well, it's a limited amount of time, but at this point, they're still wanting to keep Barrett in the mid-card, and you really can't dedicate a lot of time. You can't give 20 minutes to someone who's mid-card. Ambrose isn't mid-card. Barrett is. Barrett needs Ambrose's heat more than the other way around.
I can see that with how long he's been gone. I mean, I think the biggest problem with the 8 minutes of the match was the fact that 85 minutes of Raw had gone on with just promos.
I think what they could have done better was simply to, honestly, I think the promos went too long, and in such they ended up just cutting that match down. The problem is that if they're trying to set up a feud there, it would be great because they're both good in the ring and they're both pretty solid on the mic. I mean, Barrett's no question. I mean, he got heat whenever he wasn't even allowed to wrestle, and all he could do was come out on a fucking podium and yell, "I've got some bad news." Well, cool. You got some heat just by talking. Good job, buddy. Ambrose obviously is lightning in a bottle no matter what you throw him at right now.
I definitely agree with that one. Matt, thought process on that? Do we want to see this feud happen? Because I'd be down to watch both of them as a main event.
It would be good. I mean, they're two good wrestlers. Barrett, I mean, his promo work is okay, but it doesn't really matter him going up against Ambrose because fucking who cares? It's going to be dope.
I think his promo work is more than okay. The bad news thing is kind of a bad gimmick.
Yeah, that's just, like, not necessarily that he's bad news Barrett, just the whole podium thing. And if he would be, like, more like catering to the smarts and fucking, digging at him, which he kind of does. If he would be more like that, he would pop off more. And he don't have to pop off for the fucking kids in the audience. They don't understand it good. Fuck them.
I see where you're coming from.
If they can use this could actually be a feud that would re-elevate the international championship. From one standpoint, you have two guys who can definitely main event a show. If they would let them main event a show, just a Raw, not a SmackDown, because nobody gives a fuck about SmackDown, but they let them close a Raw with an Ambrose Barrett fight. Doesn't have to be for the title or anything like that. But just those two going at it, I feel like it would even start to bring the title back up for the simple fact that it's two guys who are probably honestly above that title at this point in their careers.
And we always talk about that. Ruff, if you want a couple seconds to talk about that, what are your feelings on the fact that the World Championship is just one, and we combined those titles, almost a year ago now?
It's
over a year. No, over a year. I lied. That was November, wasn't it, of 2013?
Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Orton versus Cena. Yeah, I think so. That or it was TLC.
If you want to combine the titles, that's fine. I have a problem if you wanted to take a 3-hour show and make it a whole bunch of promos, because you got a huge roster. If you're going to expand it to 3 hours, my hope is always that you would try to lift up the other titles. If you're going to combine the two big belts in one big belt, then we should be making a bigger deal about the U.S. Championship, and we should be making a bigger deal about the IC Championship. There's enough room now, if you've got a combined title, for you to have a cruiserweights division again if you wanted to.
I think what the problem is there is the fact that they have never had an interesting story on those title belts in years.
Well,
in years.
God
the
damn.
last really important U.S. champ
Was not Ambrose.
Okay. No, it's not Ambrose.
Ambrose, I brought that up because he had a really long reign in 2013, I think, where he didn't even defend it because he was involved in tag matches and shit running into Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania.
Putting the United States Championship on a fucking Shield member was a horrible decision.
We wanted to see gold on all three, so we'll have two of them have tag gold, and we'll have one get in the U.S. Because it doesn't matter anyway, right? That must
Pretty
be the
much.
mentality of the big office.
So when was the last time you can remember an interesting U.S. Championship story? Because I can't think of one.
WCW.
Oh, no, it's not that far.
Yep.
You're not even going to give
Nope.
old school Cena it?
Hell no.
We're asking Ruff, guys. Let's hear Ruff's opinion on it.
It's definitely Cena. Cena using that was like the last time that we cared about the U.S.
I give it to Cena too.
I'm scrolling through the list. I mean, Daniel Bryan held it in 2010, but nobody gave a fuck about Daniel Bryan back then.
That was choke you the fuck out with your own tie, Daniel Bryan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the best Daniel Bryan.
I feel like, okay, just from looking at this list, there was a chance that in 2008, I honestly don't remember it, but Matt Hardy and Shelton Benjamin both held the title in 2008. The year before that, it was straight Montel Vontavious Porter.
Oh, no. I'll give it to you. Actually, that was a great run. MVP and Matt Hardy, when they were tag team champions, and Matt Hardy wanted that fucking belt, and MVP was like, oh, nah, man. And then they became a tag team, and it was like, oh, I want this belt, man. Nah, man, we're a team. We're a team, bro. Every fucking week.
And then the depression comes out because the champion before MVP was Chris Benoit.
Ooh. Depressing. All right, moving on. We had a Rusev versus R-Truth match, speaking of the U.S. title.
Like, how long was that shit?
I don't even know. It was
30
a submission
seconds.
victory, very quick.
30
Shorter
seconds.
than the ramp walks.
Pretty much.
It was a whole lot shorter than the rap intro that we finally got to see for the first time in a long time.
It was shorter than the 3-minute Miz and Jey Uso fight that happened afterwards.
Dude, I'm telling you, they must have had promos go long because they must have been cutting down matches.
There was even a Divas tag match, which I don't even... Does anybody want to say anything about it?
Yeah.
Paige is still sexy as fuck.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad.
Summer Rae still looks good as shit.
There's also Cesaro and Kid versus Brand New Day match. Does anybody even give a shit?
No.
No.
Has anybody figured out what they're doing with this yet? Because I still don't understand why Adam Rose
Rose
is
is
there.
going heel, and apparently the New Day are going to take the Rosebuds.
He was face at one point?
Adam Rose was face, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even register this.
Whenever he
never
was-
really...
Yeah, when he first came out, he was face.
He
Yeah.
never really appealed to me.
But from the end of that match, it looks like, because the Rosebuds were partying with New Day, so I'm assuming that they're going to...
Somebody's going to do a party foul and spill the 40 ounce and it's going to set it off.
Oh, shit, Adam Rose goes crazy!
Guys.
You spilled my malt liquor.
I just want to say something real quick. Isn't this exactly what happened to the Funkadactyls?
And I have to.
Go ahead.
Ironically enough, Xavier Woods is in both of them.
Exactly.
Xavier Wood took the Funkadactyls, and now they're taking the Rosebuds. I'm really confused. All
Well,
right.
obviously, he got
Well,
tired of black bitches
yeah.
and dropped them off.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Ruff.
I said that's some real sexual chocolate for you.
All right. We're going to start with Ruff, then Matt, then Alex about this. The Ascension showed up,
Well,
and I think it was one of the best moments of the night.
it is, but I mean, we're still looking at nostalgia because those guys are around to be nothing but beat down by the next big tag team that happens. It's not going to be Cesaro being the one that's going after the tag belts, but this is trying to create a tag team division without it being about the belts.
I could see that. I kind of see this as a rise to the Ascension getting the belts. This is going to be the Ascension's first big match, and it's a big match at a pay-per-view.
That's very true. I mean, you're giving the guys a lot of faith if you're going to put their first real match televised in WWE, not counting NXT, obviously, because apparently NXT is not part of WWE.
Okay, if you say so.
I mean, that's the kayfabe answer to all of this.
I mean,
he's got a point.
they did it with Robert.
There's a few people who are kayfabe on both shows, but then there's people like Sami Zayn. There's certain people who
JBL.
never touch over.
Let's be real here. JBL was the manager of NXT, and he was pretty much a face, and then he would come to Raw and SmackDown and be a heel.
There's definitely a few moments, but Ruff. Obviously, we have the Ascension. We have the New Age Outlaws. We got the APA, which was amazing.
Oh, that clothesline.
Do you do that clothesline? Do you feel like the Ascension's going somewhere?
I think that once again, I still feel like they rushed all of this talking smack for them. I feel bad that they're getting buried by a moment like this so soon. But the real point of this was we were on a go home show, and we needed to get nostalgic because it's already Hall of Fame season. I think that was the real point of it.
Is it burying?
Well, they're going to come back and bitch and moan about it, but I mean, there's nothing really to be gained by it.
But they
said,
got a match at Royal
I'm-
Rumble with the New Age Outlaws,
yeah, but I mean,
which they're going to squash them in.
Yeah, but I mean, it still is like the point isn't to give the Ascension heat. The point is to make you remember what you loved about the last generation, the people going into the hall.
I think our problem is that we're painting them out as the Road Warriors partially. Matt, feelings on the Ascension after this?
I don't think they got buried. I think that this was their little rub, their little nudge from the old school dudes in the Royal Rumble. I think they're going to beat the Outlaws, so that's going to push them. They're trying to push them, basically. And yeah, they are fucking the Road Warriors rip off, but fucking shit. Ric Flair was fucking ripping off how many people? It's like anything else. You borrow from other people and just switch shit up. It's wrestling. I mean, it's been doing it for years. I mean, how many people have an original fucking finishing move?
Miz was Ric Flair for what? 2 years now?
Yeah.
Doing a bad job at it, too.
Not a very good Ric Flair, but...
You spent 4 months screwing up the figure 4.
Yeah, that was just fuck, dude. Seriously, I could do a fucking figure 4.
All right, Alex. All right, go ahead, Ruff.
They're busy trying to cover up for how badly he's doing. Oh, look, a new variation.
Alex, thoughts on the Ascension? And you can mark out about that clothesline now.
Okay, cool. Basically, they're probably going to squash the New Age Outlaws at the Royal Rumble. That wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know if it's going to be a squash match. I think the New Age Outlaws are still capable of putting on a match.
I agree, but at the same time, I feel like...
Billy Gunn was boss. He looks like he's in shape, son.
Billy Gunn looks like he looks better than he did last year whenever they had that title run.
I loved how he was checking out his muscles.
Yeah, that was entertaining. I don't know. I feel like the match will probably be less than 10 minutes. And, oh my God, JBL winding up for the clothesline was such a beautiful thing.
I feel like JBL being behind, doing all this heat is kind of a good thing because he's actually related to Hawk, right? Or is it Animal?
Shit, I don't know which one it is.
He's one of the Road Warriors brothers.
Is he really?
Yeah, the Laurinaitis brothers. He used to wrestle as Johnny Ace.
Oh, I thought you was talking about JBL.
Oh, you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy tonight.
The fuck, dude?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's just nothing for it.
I was really confused at what Todd was going on about there.
No, I was thinking the Laurinaitis for some damn reason. Yeah, I don't really understand all this heat or what the fuck we're doing here.
I'm thinking eventually we're going to get APA versus the Ascension because why not?
You think they're going to do that? Run the whole gambit of the legends and shit?
I think at this point, after JBL dropped the clothesline on him, they have to. Why else would JBL drop the clothesline and talk shit 24/7?
Because he's a wrestling god.
I don't think we're going to get jack shit out of the NWO, though.
Fuck no.
No, we're not getting shit out of the NWO.
We're getting mic time out of them. That's it.
Razor Ramon is so old at this point. I didn't realize how old he looked until last year at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Holy fuck, he looks old.
People still marking out with their "Hey Yo" sign on the side.
Hey yo.
If he would get in better shape, he wouldn't look so old.
Yeah, but he's fat as fuck too.
Yeah, but that dude, if he gets in the fucking gym and bosses up, nobody's gonna be able to fuck with him. He'll be the bad guy again.
That's true because Nash still looks good.
If he wants to hang out with Diamond Dallas Page for a year, he can be tip top again.
He can be Gold Dust and bring it back together at almost 50.
Shit, Gold Dust, let's forget about it, man. He's crazy good.
I'm convinced Gold Dust is immortal at this point.
He might be.
Who has been in the WWE longer, Goldust or Kane?
Gold Dust.
Gold Dust, actually.
I think longer, as in longer, Kane was there before him, right? As Isaac Yankem?
I'm just trying to think of who's got the longest continuous career in WWE.
Oh, longest continuous. Well, Gold Dust is not continuous.
Well, that's true because he was WCW for a minute, but I'm saying as far as a non-stop career, like he's never taken a break that I really can remember.
Non-stop as in WWE or just wrestling?
wrestling in the big league?
Well, okay, I'm looking at Goldust. He started in 1990 with the WWF. Went to WCW 91 to 95. Back to WWF 95 to 99. Back to WCW 99 to 01. Back to WWE 2001 to 2003. Went to the Indies from 2002 to 2008. Apparently had a short turn with TNA and WWE sometime in 2004 and 2006. Was in Japan in 2007, 2008. Finally came back to the WWE in 2008 to 2012. Went back to the Indies from 12 to 13 and is back in the WWE again.
That's crazy. That's looking at 23 working for the three of the four big American names that you can name off the top.
Well, he's been wrestling for 25 years at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, his pops, he was fucking booking and shit. Of course, he's fucking been in the game forever.
Yeah, Kane has only been in wrestling since 92, but he didn't get anywhere big until 95 whenever he got to the WWF.
Kane actually comes from a town not far from me.
So there's your answer. Goldust is probably the longest running wrestler that they have on the roster.
That's crazy because, it's easy to give all the hype that you want to Taker. And I look at Goldust, I'm going, man, you've been doing this forever.
Oh, Taker might be going longer, though, man. Because Taker's what? No, maybe not.
I was thinking about it just last week, and I thought those two have to be running neck and neck because I can't think of anyone else who's been running nearly as long as Taker besides Goldust.
Well, Taker's been running just as long, but the thing is that Taker hasn't been doing it. Goldust has been wrestling day in and day out for forever still.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Still
he was doing indie. He was doing indies even when he wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, Taker started in 84, got to WCW in 89 and 90, and then got to WWE in 1990. So they hit WWE at the same time.
Okay.
But Taker has 6 years in the wrestling world longer. But they're not crediting early career in Goldust, so I don't know if he just came right to WWE or what he did before, but...
Good old dad on that. Anyway,
Holy shit, The Undertaker had another kid in 2012. What the fuck?
Hello, his wife is Michelle McCool.
I know, but still. 2012? All right. Back on topic, because we just got completely sidetracked, and Todd is probably pissed.
We're good.
All right, so we're back, and we're going to talk about the main event. That was really a cue for you to go.
Hell yeah, son. The main event. It was so much craziness. There was so much stuff going on. It's like they were trying to compact all of this into this one main event. How long was it?
Honestly, it was like 20 minutes.
Excluding all the stuff that happened after the end of the match.
It was like 7 minutes. And then the stuff that happened after the match was only about 3 minutes.
But this still counts the biggest mark-out moment ever on Raw.
I mean, absolutely. I don't think you're going to find a bigger moment in the history of Raw because we are talking about the one man they never could sign.
The man called Sting.
The Vigilante, we're calling him now, actually. We didn't get into this. The Vigilante.
Why?
Yeah.
I still don't get that one.
I don't.
Probably because TNA did something silly and trademarked the word icon when it comes to wrestling.
Did they?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, WWE trademarked King Booker at one point, so I mean, I can see that. This is
true.
Well, I mean, they trademarked John Cena. Literally, John Cena.
They did not trademark Lazy Eye Hickenbottom. I wonder why. All right, so Sting showed up, and I think he looked better than ever.
That's the best looking coat he's ever worn.
His gear was tight. He had some fresh gear on, definitely.
Better than ever compared to TNA, not WCW, obviously. He's not in a t-shirt anymore. That's the best part.
I mean, honestly, the blonde hair thing was never my thing.
Yeah, he looked like baby Ric Flair back in the day, man.
Surfer Sting and me. I mean, we're friends, but we're not super best friends.
Exactly.
Except when he was fighting Mick Foley.
Poor Mick Foley.
Whatever, man. Mick Foley had a fucking career with Sting at one point. That's why you know Mick Foley's one of the best wrestlers ever. So, we finally get to this moment. The main event's over. We had the roll-up. Thoughts on the roll-up victory?
Schoolboy?
Yeah, Schoolboy.
Better than him no-selling the whole match. Popping up out of nowhere. Dropping an AA on Seth Rollins and then getting a 3 count.
I definitely agree. Ruff, how did you feel about how we actually ended the match?
Having a roll-up is even more of making Triple H his bitch than anything else he could possibly do.
Go on. I want to hear this.
I mean, honestly, if you drop an AA on someone, it's got a little bit of an attitude, but you got schooled with the easiest move that you could sneak on anybody. And that just has got to be the most annoying thing in the world for Triple H to have to witness.
Are you telling me that the Schoolboy was an FU?
It's the biggest FU that you can do.
Oh, that's too easy, guys. Damn it. I loved it, though. I agree. I hate the attitude adjustment thing.
I think it's clever that he named it the attitude adjustment.
Oh, yeah, because the FU wasn't cool for PG. It was the FU for how many years?
7 years?
It was the FU all the way through 2010, I think, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe longer. I don't even know why we switched the attitude adjustment besides PG.
Because of PG.
I loved when Triple H climbed onto the table and just started screaming, Sting! Sting!
It seemed like a moment out of a comedy movie, honestly.
Oh, yeah. So Lesnar came running the fuck out and tore apart everybody in the ring.
Yeah, that was great. He pummeled the fuck out of every single person.
And I feel like we got the, you don't really get underdog moments with Brock Lesnar, but something about Kane and his evil slacks and Big Show and how he fought them both off of him was fucking awesome.
That's two big motherfuckers. He fucking was like, fuck y'all. But that fucking F5 that he delivered to Big Show was sick. I don't care how sloppy it was sick.
I don't know if it was sloppy. I feel like it was more of a, like, Big Show could have gotten really hurt by that.
It was the biggest bump Big Show has taken in a long time.
I mean, he slammed that dude. Like, he just, like, threw him, like, get the fuck out of here. He was, like, throwing a fucking soft drink out the window. Like, peace.
It was like the FU meets the Sister Abigail. Somehow he flipped him so he landed on his fucking back.
In the words of Rob Gronkowski, he threw him out the club.
Oh, shit.
Hell of a lot better than any bump that you've seen Ric Flair take in the past 15 years. It's a wonder that Flair never broke a hip sooner than he did, you know?
Hey, man, you don't talk about Flair like that.
I'm telling you, every time Flair landed out sideways, I always was sweating when he was going to turn into dust.
Listen, man, you just mad that you ain't a... You can be...
Limousine riding.
You can
Ric
be
Flair came
mad
out.
that you are not out there styling and profiling, limousine riding, and jet flying, but you will never be Ric Flair.
Look, if y'all gonna talk shit about Hogan, then nothing's up.
I'm just saying, Ric Flair came out there, and he said, y'all have all ridden Space Mountain in this town, bitches.
I mean, he should have said all y'all's moms and grandmas
Yeah.
have all ridden Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Probably that one. But, I mean, I don't think you can hate on... Or you can't say Ruff is ever going to hate on Ric Flair's style because you haven't seen that man rock a purple bandana.
Look, no disrespect to Flair. I love Flair. He's one of the great. He's one of my favorites. But at a point, like when he did that fucking Money in the Bank match, I was like, oh my God, he's fucking dead. It's like they've killed Ric Flair.
2006, I think it was Ric Flair versus Big Show on the ECW Revival. Does anybody remember this match?
Yeah, I do.
It was a sheer gore fest out of Ric Flair's face.
I mean, that's what he does, man. He's got that fucking blonde hair, and when he fucking gets colored, dude, it just fucking, it goes everywhere. And it's all in his hair. His hair gets all fluffed up, and it's like he's fucking Super Saiyan and shit.
It's an impressive feat whenever it happens.
And I'll say this about that, man. Out of everything that went wrong with the ECW Revive, that Ric Flair match was worth seeing, even if it means that Rob Van Dam and Sabu both got buried for marijuana.
Poor Rob Van Dam. Everybody knew he was smoking tons of weed.
For years, one of my favorite things to say was bleed like Flair.
Nobody was bleed like bitches.
Nobody was ever more of a stuck pig in the ring than Ric Flair. No one ever could be more of a stuck pig in the ring than Ric Flair. No one bleeds like Ric Flair.
Yeah, he's got a trick to it. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
All right.
He found some magic.
Like he's got a couple extra pints of blood in him or something to let go of.
He's
like, I don't need that. I don't need this gallon of blood. Woo!
We do need to end this episode, guys. So we're going to do some quick shout-outs here real quick. You can find us at Kayfabe Gimmicks on Facebook. Matt, tell them the Facebook, or tell them the YouTube.
Okay, you can go check us out. You're probably listening to it now. We're on Eviction Entertainment. Just look up Kayfabe Gimmicks Podcast. You're going to find us on there.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe. Well, it don't matter if you like it. Just subscribe and check it out and watch it and listen. We're going to try to get in other avenues or whatever. Go on Facebook. Check us out. We're on the group Kayfabe Gimmicks. Just look us up. Join up. Hit us up. It's good conversation. It's good videos we put out. We're going to have a Twitter rolling out and everything.
Share us with your friends. We need more members. We'd like you guys. So, if you want to come on a podcast, hit us up.
I don't like you.
Why don't you like us? You don't have anything to shout out, bitch.
I've never liked anyone.
If you want, you can go try to find Alex on Super Smash Brothers. He won't tell you his name, but he will beat your ass if you do find him.
Oh, I'll give you my NNID. Come at me, bro.
Go ahead and throw it out if you want to. You want to shout something out?
It's just Behney too. Go watch the podcast. You can figure out how to spell my name then.
All right, Ruff, go ahead. Since you're a special guest this week, go ahead and throw out all of your information. I know you got a lot of things that you can throw to these people.
I stay busy. I'm guitar, gear. I guess you'd call me a gear counselor. So I'm an administrator on a place on Facebook called Gear Heads with a Z at the end. And we can talk pedals, pickups, everything else under the sun. And you go find me on Facebook. Go look up Ruff Lee, RUFFLEE. And I've got music on there. You're going to see so much music happening this year. And I'm going to start a regular series about guitar gear and everything there, too. If you find me on Twitter at Real Ruff Lee, you'll get to see me speak my mind in ways that make my wife mad at me on a weekly basis. And I'm everywhere else that you can find me.
Two of us understand the wife thing. One of us does not. One of these days, Matt's going to get married.
Maybe. If I don't die before.
All right. So, to close the show, Ruff, who wins the Rumble? Who wins the world title match?
World title gets to stay with Lesnar. But Sting is going to come out and mess up Rollins cashing in.
Now, does he ruin the entire Money in the Bank opportunity, or does he just stop the cash in?
He's going to stop the cash in because I think that you're going to get to see him still carry around the suitcase. But you need this to happen because that's what's going to get Triple H really mad enough to want a fight with him at Mania. That's how you build the fight the right way.
Alex, how do you close it out, man? Who wins the Rumble? Who wins the world title?
All right, we've discussed this on other podcasts. I'm just going to put it out the quick and fast way. Dependent upon who wins the match, the title match, a.k.a. Lesnar wins, D-Bray wins. My personal hopes is that Rollins comes out with the briefcase. Ambrose wins the Rumble. We discussed this. I
think a couple podcasts ago.
Yeah, Ambrose will most likely be a Final Four. If Ambrose is there in the end and Rollins already won the title, there's no way that it's not Ambrose versus Rollins for the title at Mania.
Now, in your case, we have to do something with Reigns and we have to do something with Daniel Bryan at Mania. What do we do with them?
Well, Reigns is fighting Big Show. That's not a big deal. Nobody cares.
For 3 more months?
Yep, 3 more months. Nobody cares. They're already trying to do it.
I already actually meant to bring that up earlier in the podcast. We saw they were going for that again. What about D-Brat then, though?
Somehow, for some reason, still fights Lesnar. I don't know, man. It's all screwy. Like I said, the chances of it actually happening aren't that high, but a man can have hopes for, some change.
Now, I remember Ruff here actually had a dream booking that involved Cena's retirement match. Can we hear that?
Yeah, it's real simple. You can't have Ambrose versus Rollins yet. And I say yet because we're going to have this Sting and Triple H thing happen. And once we get on the other side of that, it's going to be Cena going against Triple H to retire Cena. It's the only way that you can happen because you've got to have Cena step down before you can have these big guns that we obviously know already. The Daniel Bryans, the Seth Rollins, the Dean Ambroses, the Bray Wyatts. They can't be top card until Cena steps down. When Cena steps down, that gives an opening for Orton to leave, the same way it was with Trish and Lita. What we need, honestly, is to get Sting and Triple H out of the way, and then we can have Cena lose to Triple H and have a retirement match. Then we can talk about Rollins and Dean Ambrose being top of the card.
I give it to you. I'll give it to you. It's definitely an interesting idea that we're just going to retire Cena and that this would be the end of his career.
Does it get big? Then him having to walk away because of the authority at the end of it all. This faction is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
I know, but this isn't the first time that we've seen a Cena retirement match either.
We're going to see him. We're going to see him walk away. He's been doing. I mean, he is 200 shows a year, and he has been for 10 years. The only break I can really think about during this whole time was when he filmed his first movie after that kidney stab by Carlito, and that was all the way back in the U.S. days. And since then, he's been 200 shows a year.
Yeah, I mean, there's only been a couple of month breaks where he was hurt.
Right, so he's got to be ready to walk away soon or take a serious break, and that means a retirement match.
I'll give it to you, Matt. How do you end the Rumble? Who wins the title?
Okay, so we all know it's going to be Daniel Bryan. In the Final Four, it's going to be Daniel Bryan. It's going to be Dean Ambrose. And who else was vouched for on Raw by the Legends? Who was it?
I don't even remember.
And Ziggler. Who was the other dude?
What? Sorry.
I don't know. It ain't important.
Russo.
No, it wasn't those. It doesn't matter. Fuck them. They ain't going to win it.
I think it was Russo.
It's going to be Daniel Bryan who wins the Rumble. He's going to go to Mania to face Brock. That's not a question about that. The title match, Brock is going to beat everybody. He's going to hold that title. Then, the whole cash-in is going to try to happen, but Sting's going to come out, fuck it up, and before it even gets handed to the ref and, start the match, Sting's going to fuck it up. So Triple H, I'm assuming like Triple H might even come out like at the end of the match, and we might see something there. So that's going to set them up for Mania, and that's pretty much what's going to happen, in my opinion. I mean, it's almost like you can just see it coming a mile away, which isn't really bad. It's good booking, really, with what they got.
You know, here's something real quick I got to throw in there. So many new feuds have happened as a result of what happens during the Rumble. So the question is, because the other guy who got brought up was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So where do these? It's going to be interesting seeing where the feuds go after the Rumble. I'm really curious where to go with Bray Wyatt from the Rumble, unless something happens and goes down in the ring during the Rumble. I really don't know what to do with Bray Wyatt on the way to Mania.
I think that Wade is going to start a beef in the Rumble with maybe him. You know, maybe it's Wyatt. He was the other dude. Yeah, maybe it's Wyatt who tosses out Wade. But he's going to maybe it's him, but Wade's going to start a beef with somebody during the Rumble. So they're going to have him something lined up for the next few months and maybe even Mania.
I'll give it to you. For me, I feel like Sting interrupts the cash-in to the point where it's ruined. And there is no cash-in at all. And we move into Sting versus... Well, Seth Rollins is number 30. He walks out, he wins the fucking Rumble. Lesnar versus Rollins at Mania. Triple H is pissed the fuck off. Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania. We have it perfect.
Okay, let's look at Mania. We got the main event, which is going to be the title match. And we've got Sting versus Triple H. What else do we got?
Wade versus somebody and Rusev versus somebody.
We're gonna have a Divas match, like probably right before the main event. There's probably gonna be like a Divas match or something, just to
It's going
let
to be a
everybody
Divas
chill.
title match, and it's going to be a battle royale with every single member of Total Divas involved. Because fuck you.
I see more of another Andre the Giant Battle Royale happening.
But Diva style.
Maybe.
Bra and panties.
The problem with the idea.
What's it gonna be? A Wendy Richter fucking tribute battle royale?
No. I mean, I'm really expecting them to do the Andre the Giant whatever thing again.
I think they do that just to get people paychecks, honestly.
Probably, but I expect them to do it again this year.
Oh, okay. Here's another match. It's gonna be a tag team match, and it's gonna be the fucking new dudes. What the fuck are their names
Ascension
again?
versus the Usos.
I don't know if it's gonna be the Usos though. Maybe. I mean, I guess they're on top, but it could be New Day. It could be them.
It could be, and at the same time, I think we're gonna have a Sandow versus Miz fight to break that up finally.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen at Mania.
Which sucks because we're not going to get Goldust versus Cody Rhodes.
It is what it is, guys. This is Kayfabe Gimmicks. Find us on Facebook. Look us up on YouTube, like we already said. You guys have a great night, okay?